and things with your album, the sound and by the melody. What was the concept behind that song?
So, Don't Go Looking for Love was basically inspired by me studying the origin of love. A lot of people nowadays are looking for love. Don't quite know what love is. You need to know what love is in order to love.
What did you do? You said a study. What was your study like?
It was very interesting. I learned that there were many types of love. I learned a lot of different aspects of love, whether it be relationships, building, raising children. So many dynamics of love. So you gotta be grounded enough to know where and what kind of love it is you should be looking for.
Man. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and play this song and see how this is coming about. And then we're still going to be live. Thanks, everybody on Facebook land and listening and watching and enjoying this show today. And then we're still going to be here conversating. And we're going to come back after the song.
I was trying to get me to sing early, dog.
Yeah, that was singing.
It's supposed to blow bubbles. It's strong. That's
Some people grow and some people change. Tomorrow's a new day, let go of the pains. Weeds into question what love is. Searching for answers cause it wasn't quite given. Giving is shown, coming up in the heart. So the question, where do we find love? I heard it's quite attached to something with you, or something we decide to be. I'm not looking for no love, looking for love, 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 for love, love. So when it's love, sure to find you. When it's love, that will be sure, so I will be sure, yeah, that will be sure to find you. That will be sure. Looking for love, felt like a cloud, love, in the wrong places. We tend to look for love and don't see love right in front of our faces. Love divides the lies we live, and the burdens got connects to me. Our decisions are faded, choices we made. Love's not something you find you. Oh, no, no, love, looking for love, so love, for love, love, no, love, sure to find you. So I will be sure, yeah, I will be sure, I will be sure, I will be sure to find you, yeah, I will be sure. Looking for love,
Was this the one you're talking about, the disabled black man that got shot in the police car? I was reading about the gangs that they didn't know officers.
I was telling you your laptop need to be over here. That was my stand.
The only reason why I was my head on the angle.
love is patient, love is kind, it's not keeping your bones. It's not even good, doesn't dishonest, it keeps no records of wrongs. Always protection, trust.
I don't trust you, Jamila. I love you, but I don't trust you. Oh, yeah, that's my best friend. She, her and my coworker gave me an appointment Saturday T, he sing like you sing. Yes, Auntie T, I'm talking to you. Little music soul child right here.
I'll take it.
I don't keep it too much. Fresh it out.
I like this song.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, that was "Don't Go Looking for Love" by Liddell Williams. I said it right there.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Liddell Williams for the sound of my melodies. So you're into this for right now, so you're full time and things of that nature, and then you're independent and things. Are you looking to stay independent, or you want to go with a label?
Well, you know, we just see what happens. If it makes sense, maybe a label. If not, me and God been doing all right.
Okay. So what's your next plans for going forward? Like how's with the more tours, more videos, but still promotion?
Yeah, most definitely more tours. I actually have some things in the making I don't want to speak too closely on, but we got some great tours getting ready to happen. I'm still like completing and putting together the band, making sure the sound is solid.
Okay.
And
you play an instrument? You gonna play an instrument while you're singing too, or you just?
well, yeah, I play the guitar. I do play the guitar. Right. You know, I get the keys a little bit to get my point across. You know, the drums, like I said, is the first instrument. So, yeah.
Awesome. How can your fans find you and things of that nature and communicate and keep up with you and all the fans?
Facebook, most definitely. Liddell.Williams on Facebook.
We'll have to spell it for those who...
L-Y-D-E-L-L Williams. Liddell.Williams on Facebook. Twitter at Liddell Williams, I-D-E-L-L Williams. www.liddellwilliamsmusic.com. The R&B Soul Man on Instagram. You know,
R-N-B, not A-N-B.
R-N-B.
Okay.
Yep. All letters.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. So, quick question. For the young ones that's out there that kind of still charging through and saying, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, but you said you were able to have some resources to help get you through, but unfortunately, you know, many people that don't get those opportunities and resources.
Well,
so what would you suggest to that?
Well, I would say I would just most definitely I would suggest just believe in whatever it is that you're doing and everything else to come to pass. And number one, it starts with belief. You can't do anything without belief. So, yeah, you got to start with believing. Resources and everything else will come. You know, God provides everything, right? So,
that's true.
Hey, if you look at it that way, it'll happen that way.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you for taking the time out, man, because not many people willing to step up to the plate and take the time out to speak and share their challenges. So
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you being transparent and all of that. And also in being transparent and being a young black man and things like that. We've been hit hard, always been hitting hard in the world, and the last 40 years it's just been stupid. And then even now, it's just like,
it's crazy.
What WTF, excuse me. What, seeing some of these things going on right now, tell me your initial thoughts.
Man, it's heartbreaking. Never did I think that we would be experiencing or living what others have lived, and we thought was, at least better. And not in my lifetime, not for my nieces and nephews, just not for people in general. Hey, but they say everything comes back around. How do we break that cycle?
Yeah, that's true. You're not going Gyrlz over there.
No.
Okay.
How do we break that cycle as a people? It's a lot of things that we were taught that were distrue and dishonest from beginning. So it's like, how do you learn to live by living what was taught? So you gotta have a strong mind, and that spiritual side is another great add and plus to living. Nowadays, if you don't have it, you're sort of kind of lost. No, you are lost. If you don't got God, you're lost. So we got to figure that out. We got to know who God is.
Miss Ashley.
I'm sorry, I really wasn't paying attention on
I'm
what
sorry.
the question is.
No, I'm sorry. No, I apologize.
Just to be honest.
Okay, I apologize. No.
Usually I'm called in before I jump in.
I'm sorry.
What's the
I'm
question?
sorry. No, it was just we were transitioning to like him being a young black man going through his challenges now, but then what's going on in the world today in terms of trying to overcome these obstacles. And we have some stuff recently in the news that just don't make a dang sense, and like none of it did before. But it's just like the last 2 days, 48 hours, it's been ridiculous. Where we've had bombing. I'm sorry, a man trying to set in bombs in a mall in Minnesota. They have the gentleman suspect captured alive. And for the bombing, but let it been any of us even accused of something, we're murdered,
Dead.
and then now we have people who are innocent, regardless of whatever the case may be. We've seen videos of people standing with their hands up and being shot. We just received the reports of, and I'll go let Amber allude to it more, but she's had more updated information than I do at the moment, to a disabled man being shot, to a young kid being shot for having a musical instrument, a saxophone. Your thoughts?
So what is the exact question? Like, all of those things are
I'm sorry.
horrible, but what is the question?
I'm sorry. The question is, what is how do you feel about the obstacles that we're facing today regarding these challenges and with these recent events?
I think they're all horrible. Obstacles. Black people have been suffering since we got here, so I think they're horrible every day. As far as me accomplishing my dreams, like, come on, Stephen, give me something to talk about black men.
Well, no, but okay, but let me help you. Let me go this way. Let me, as a black woman, the challenges of supporting our black men going through these different situations, and obviously sometimes it's not being reciprocated back. What are your challenges as a woman still feeling the need to support when sometimes the support is not back there for you?
You know what? I've just lived my life about like this. My ancestors have been fighting since the 1400s, 1500s, 1600s. So in 2016, I can't expect somebody who has never treated me right to all of a sudden treat me right. I'm not just going to wake up one day and say, oh, this white man didn't give me fair service. He didn't give my mama that, he didn't give my grandmama that, and my great-grandmama, and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. However, I went to the pre-opening of the African American History Museum at the Smithsonian. I saw a quote by Peter Osborne that said, "My ancestors planted the trees of this nation, and I intend to eat the fruit." And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So while my ancestors swung from trees picked cotton, shucked sugar, and pretty much built this entire nation, they didn't do that just for me to run away. They didn't do that for me to cry. They didn't do that for me to beg for Vanessa for more oatmeal because I'm hungry, okay? They did that so that I could start my business. They did that so I could support this brother over here who wants to sing or come on to your radio show. They didn't die for no reason. I'm not gonna make it so they die for no reason. So that's why I'm asking you, can you give me a direct question? Because that is so broad, we can go on so many different angles that I wanna make sure I'm answering the right angle. And me, accomplishing my dreams is not and never will be contingent upon whether a white man shoots my brother or arrests his white brother. I don't care because y'all never cared for me. I'm gonna still accomplish my dreams and my goals.
I mean, you answered the question. you answered the question.
And we're done.
I mean, like, you perfectly answered it. Rossa?
You don't even want to hear what I
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I can't use words like heartbroken because anybody knows that conceptually, if you're heartbroken, you get over heartache. Okay, this is not something for us to get over. It's something that we finally overcome. So I can't say that I'm heartbroken. I can say that I'm fed up. One of the things that I always say when I do my posts, are we mad yet? Because one of the things that I'm personally fed up is I'm not fed up with the police officers that are crooked and slaughtering us in the street. I'm not fed up with the laws that don't treat us fairly. I'm fed up with complacent Negroes. Woo! I'm fed up with house niggas. I'm fed up with coons. I'm fed up with buffoonery. I'm fed up with bootlickers. I'm fed up, okay, because what else is it going to take? Shaquille O'Neal, Jerry Rice, and all of the other ones that want to sit because the master gives them a good amount of dollar and they forget the neighborhoods that they come on. So I'm fed up, and it's time that we rise up. I spoke on Sunday at a service, and my word was rise up. And to rise up means to lift your voice, to elevate, to get your ass off of your seat and do something. So I'm at that point right now where I'm saying that if you're not going to be about it, don't talk about it. At the end of the day, our children's blood is still running in the street. This is no surprise. We're not surprised that another black man was gunned down with his hands up in the air. We're not surprised that another child was senselessly murdered because they thought he had a gun. We're not surprised about these things. We're not even surprised that another mysterious bomber came in and blew up and shot police officers and almost killed 29 people, but he only ended up with a surface wound to be able to get in the ambulance and go to the hospital. Okay, but yet the guy who shot police officers supposedly in Dallas, y'all sent a robot bomb in and just blew him to smithereens. So none of this really surprises me. So again, my question to the African American community is, what else is it going to take? Because the only thing that seems to happen that if it's not your baby, it's not your problem.
And that's the issue that we've allowed, and is that's what they want. Right, even now, one of the biggest things that irritate the living daylights out of me is that we're going to find anything we can do to dismay a person's character to justify the killing. Perfect example. Report just came out that the guy had supposedly PCP.
And that's surprised you.
So,
We were waiting. It actually took them longer than the 15 minutes.
It's usually
after they shot him.
They couldn't
what's going
find
to happen? Eventually, they're going to scan his ass, and it's going to come up while he's falling down.
Exactly. Like they couldn't find because usually if he has a record, that would have been all trashed in like less than 5 minutes all over social media.
It took them almost 24 hours, so they had to dig a little deeper.
You know, he got an F in something in 8th grade, so it's worth killing.
Absolutely.
You know, it's just the stuff that goes on with that. You know, I want to hit on what a lot of things what Maya has said, but ladies,
I'm mad as hell. I was mad as hell when I woke up this morning, but the first thing I did was thank God for last night's lying down and this morning's rising. But I was mad as hell when I woke up this morning. And I think I was even madder when I walked into work and I had to wait in a copy line of about 10 people. But the point in me getting even madder is that while I was showing my coworker the footage, because he had no clue about what was going on, I'm watching people inch around me to the copier that don't look like me. And I'm like, we all in line here. But I'm getting even madder when I find out that my people, my complacent people, are condescending, and we pretend and put on this facade like we want to help one another. But when the reality is, behind the scenes, we coat the man and we slap ourselves on the ass. I'm mad as hell. And I don't mind saying I'm mad as hell.
Absolutely.
And Bernadette?
Oh, I woke up this morning in tears and in prayer. I was already disturbed by the 13-year-old and previous, but that one right there was just kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. And I went to work, it was quiet as a church mouse. Nobody was saying anything. And it was just kind of like tiptoeing. You see the TV, you see what's going on, and nobody is saying anything. There was no like, how you doing? I know what's going on, and there's no nothing. And I was just infuriated because the cycle is repeating itself, and it's like, it's dead silent, and we're not rising. Nobody is rising among us. It's like, you know, what Ross Silk is saying. It's becoming the norm to the point it's like, well, it ain't affecting me. It's just going, the train's going to ride by my house. And to me, if you got to have some type of conscious feelings or be a human to not see that is not affecting you.
Let me ask a question, because one of the things when we run into situations like this, we always hear people say, I'm praying, and this is no insult to you. I'm praying, or I prayed on it, or pray over it. What the hell are you praying for?
Because
hold on,
words.
Mr. P. What are you praying for? Because one of the things that my mother always taught me is God answers prayers. Okay, so obviously if God answers prayers, somebody's prayer line is disconnected. What the hell are you praying for? What are you asking for? Because I think what's happening is we're all praying for the wrong thing. We keep praying for this inclusionism. We keep praying that one day they're all going to wake up and accept us and embrace us and welcome them into our world. Until we tear down these systems, if we're not willing to come to the table and tear down all of the systems, get rid of the American flag and the anthem and all of the other garbage that this country stands for and say, you know what, let's do this together, then what are we praying for? Exactly what are we praying? Because that's the problem that I have with black people. Since slavery, we've been doing this, we shall overcome in this kumbaya period. And it's never ended. It went from slavery to the black codes. It went from the black codes to the pig codes. It went from the pig codes to the Jim Crow. It went from the Jim Crow to the civil rights. And here we are right now back in anarchy. So exactly what are we praying for?
I agree with you. I was going to say that, people are not, there is a disconnect there. Mr. Solo, I want your words on this. Mr. Frederick Douglass.
Maybe we should march.
No, don't go on. You got more to say there. Come on now. Okay.
For me, like, I always wake up and do my devotionals and everything. So for me, my prayer time this morning was just more of, giving me peace to just even walk in to my job and hope that nobody say nothing crazy or I'm gonna go off on somebody. That was it for me. But people have forgotten that, okay, we pray, but you praying with no action behind it, like faith without works is dead. Then you just praying and it's just falling. If you praying, you do the possible, God does the impossible. So if there's a law, for instance, if there's a law being put or a push for, say, blacks can't go into a particular restaurant, just hypothetically speaking, and I'm like, Lord, this can't happen. I know your will, and you do that particular prayer, But I'm gonna carry my behind parts down to this legislation or wherever I need to go and voice that this is a no-no. That's where the work comes in. I can pray in my room and don't step out the door to even face that. That's a lot of black people's problem. We just talk amongst ourselves about plenty of resolutions and solutions, but we're not going to no debates, no forums, no nothing.
Absolutely.
We're not going to legislation for even local stuff. For
Think
anything
about
to
this.
pass.
When the game TV show got canceled, almost 1 million people called the TV station demanding that that TV show be put back on the air, right? Today, I outlined the Department of Justice, the Division of Civil Rights, their phone number. I called, I talked to them personally, okay, because my civil rights is being violated, okay? And I even posted out there exactly what the civil rights, what portion of the civil rights I'm coming from, how many people call. Because I know 6 of my friends that call, but no one wants to take the time. If I put on there freaking that Nene Leakes is going to be on Dancing with the Stars, or they cancel Empire, or they cancel Power. They had Power off for 1 week and Facebook went crazy. Everybody's like, wait a minute, I tuned in and Power wasn't there. Okay, this is your American broadcast system.
And you won't utilize it for what it means and things. One of the things that gets on my nerves is, I believe you can't faith without works and things. And what gets me even it annoys me the first is that it's not like the outline is not there. It's not like, okay, step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. It's clear. We know what we need to do. Okay, but we refuse to do it. Everybody wants to do different things. Okay,
We do.
And we, in terms of black people and in general, won't work. We have this issue of working together.
Well,
Whereas,
that's really difficult when you got black people who don't want to be black.
that's true.
Whoa.
And
This
then,
self-hate.
Can we
thing-
talk about it?
this self-hate thing and this better than?
Can we
thing.
talk about
Okay,
it?
so we who?
Right, because you have a point. Because when we all have multiple different things, I need you to handle this, I need you to handle this, and you to handle this, and we won't work together as a system. And things. So now we're falling by the wayside of everything else by everybody else is going up. And you don't see that it's a systematic change. And then if you don't even look at your own history, everybody loves going on the cultures and history. I'm one of them.
I think the stupidest thing is when people go, okay, well, we're in 2016 and we're talking about slavery, get over it. Slavery is in your DNA.
Woo.
It's in your bloodline. It's in your stream. Okay, your whole family is still suffering from a Willie Lynch syndrome. Black women are still suffering from Willie Lynch syndrome. Our children's children are going to incur that wrath. Okay, so it's really, really stupid. It's like so funny because a couple of weeks ago we had 9/11. I'm a New Yorker, okay, die hard. And they go, never forget 9/11. But 9/11 is not the poster child for the genocide that has taken place here on American soil.
I give you a perfect example. Remember when the shooting in the club in Orlando?
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that came up in the news was the worst mass shooting in
And
U.S.
that was
history.
a lie.
Okay, first off, look at what was going on. They had to correct it when all these scholars and educators flooded all the news networks, the Native American stuff. So they had to change it. The worst in modern history. It's the lack of education.
We gotta tweak it to make it work.
And then what gets me is that, okay, there was a posting when someone said, don't get mad at us or anything else for out there. Get mad at the schools for not telling you the truth. So now that we tell our kids and all those older people says, keep learning, never stop learning. But damn it, you won't do it yourself. So if one day it was proven 2 + 2 is 5 or something, whatever, you don't want to agree with it and things of that nature, but you see it dead in your face, you won't see it. I still see people to this day with the videos, with the information, with the education that's out there, and we show them that this is the truth, okay?
But Ashley she alluded to that she went to the pre-opening of the Black History Museum, okay? And here we are in the nation's capital, area that we built on our backs. and we're just getting a museum in 2016.
And they just finished the one that took forever today for the Black History one up there. What gets me, here's a what
Up where?
the black up in the Black History Museum here in Richmond that was just finished rebuilt. What gets me is that they doing a live viewing. Okay, why not have set up the money that you're getting from all these dues and stuff? Take a bunch of kids and take them to the who may not get the opportunity.
Well, one of the students, one of our students' grandfather is being honored at the opening on Saturday. A
Congratulations.
Highland Springs High School student, and I got to make sure I put that out there because see, people think people that got prestige only come from the West
Can
End.
you mention his name so we can give him credit, please?
I want to say his name is Joseph or something like that. I want to say Joseph, but I know because they mentioned it this morning. Okay. They mentioned it this morning, but I need to go back to talking about Orlando. And one of the things I wanted you to bring out, and I was hoping that you were going to bring out, is I was wondering, do you remember when they had the survivors on CNN and the young black girl said that the shooter said he wasn't going to shoot the black people in Orlando because they had been oppressed and discriminated against like he had been. And that's why he let them live.
Can I add to that experience that I had 16 years old traveling with my family to Germany? We had a day-long layover in Germany, so we checked into the Best Western. As my parents are trying to cross the language barrier to get us to check in, I just start looking around, and a group of men sitting in the waiting area, they asked me to come over to them. Maybe I'm a little naive at 16, but my parents were there, so I didn't feel too uncomfortable. So I do walk over to them. This one gentleman grabs my hand. He says to me verbatim, "You are very beautiful." I'm flattered at 16. And then he says, "I want you to know that the Arabs are going to bomb the USA, but we are going to save all of the Arabs and all of the Negroes because you are oppressed." This is exactly what he said. I was 16. This was in 2001, but it was in August.
I was 16 in
September 11th happened.
Wow.
The next month.
Wow.
I told,
Crazy.
of course, as soon as he says that, because everything changed for us in September 11th. So September and 10 prior, as U.S. citizens, we never thought terrorism could happen here. So when he said that, I was like, "You are crazy," and you can understand. You're speaking English to me, so I can speak English back to you and say, "You are crazy." Then I go over and I tell my mom that, and she comes over and says, "What did you say to my daughter?" And he repeats it again to my mom. So when all that happened, then we actually do send our story to it is a lot more happened after that. But anyway. It's interesting how the entire world feels that we are oppressed. Mm-hmm. And even then, and now, the shooter, the entire world for generations knows that we are oppressed. So when I went to that museum, and I'm going to put the mic.
Those are our ancestors. They getting mad.
Yeah, I'll put the mic down after this because the one thing I will say is thank God for my father, who was a donor to the museum. That's how we got to go in early. If you walk through that museum, you will laugh, you will cry, you will come out with black pride. But knowing that I didn't know so much before, I thought I knew a lot. You know how people say they woke? Let me tell you something, a lot of people still asleep. And the people that's woke are still in the day. Okay? But when I walked through that and I learned so much, and I learned what slavery was, that literally was our economy. So I don't need nothing from no white person. But today, I feel like I deserve reparations. I really do. It's crazy. I didn't feel like that last week. I went on Saturday. When I walked out that building, I think, we deserve reparations, not even just for me, but for payment for what we built, what my ancestors built. You will learn, we not only we do cotton, we was shucking rice,
Indigo.
sugar,
Indigo.
it was tobacco. We were
This
building
nation is built on
roads,
our back.
everything.
Oh, you know I know about the farm. Yeah.
And I'm just
Yeah.
thinking like, I live in Shacobah.
That's
My
the
streets
epicenter. That's the epicenter of the slave trade.
And I'm just
The
thinking
Shackle
like,
Bottom is
Turn it off.
Shackle Bottom is nothing but the epicenter of the slave trail. The ships used to actually come through there, and the slaves used to actually walk through Shackle Bottom to the auction house, which now sits directly across the street from Buffalo Wild Wings. And the other end of that apartment building was the slaughterhouse. So if they didn't think that you were good enough to work the field or whatever, they would send you over and you would be slaughtered in the slaughterhouse. There, the farmer's market outside the market, the blocks are still there where they used to put the slaves on display. So you can go through their mouths and check their teeth and their loins and everything to see if they qualify for you to go to the auction house. Now, the crazy reason why I mention that is because I'm from New York City, born and raised. I should not know that before I came here, and you have people who live here that were born and raised here and have no clue of what happened into their city. They have no clue that where St. John's Church was, where Patrick Henry gave his "Give me liberty, give me death" speech. However, he plagiarized that speech because 2 days before that, there was a slave named Gabriel that said, "Give me liberty or give me death," and he was executed. And Patrick Henry was present and used that line in his now famous speech. Okay, I should not know that coming to the city, but well, the reason why I know that because in my household, it was imperative that not only did we go to the library, but we went to the Black History Library in Harlem, and we had to read books and we had to talk, and we didn't talk with phones at our table. TVs went off, cell phones went off. They didn't even exist back then. And we dialogue with each other, and my father and my mother would ask us questions to make sure that we understood what was being told to us, and they made us understood. I remember going to high school, and I remember them wanting to suspend me because I got in an argument with my Caucasian Black history teacher who tried to convince me that African Americans were not kings and queens. And I was like, not only were we kings and queens, but we also owned slaves.
Not to cut you off. You know, if you're gonna put that on it, you're gonna have to speak about it.
No,
Go. You're gonna have to
I don't
speak
need a
about
microphone.
it.
I don't need a microphone. I don't need a microphone.
Yeah.
This penny right here, that represents us. Abraham Lincoln, the real Abraham Lincoln, was a black man.
Okay, not only was he dark skinned, but if you look at your United States currency, if everybody takes their United States currency out and they put all of your coins, nickel, dimes, and everything together, if you will notice, everybody is under the impression that Abraham Lincoln is facing the other way because he freed the slave.
He didn't free.
Abraham Lincoln did not free the slave.
At all.
Actually, Abraham Lincoln owned slaves himself.
Exactly.
Okay, what happened is when he came here, it was starting to interfere with their money, and they came for this negotiation process. And being the big man in charge, Abraham Lincoln was like, okay, well, if it ain't my way, then it's the highway. Okay, so then
That's why he got assassinated at
and
the
that's
beginning.
why they assassinated him. Because you know, as you guys know, anybody that looks out for us or does anything to help us, they don't get to like.
He was trying to send us back.
He was
trying to send us back. Like he didn't want us here anyway.
Absolutely.
So it was just the fact. People don't realize the fact that many of the people that came over
Well, Mr.
here were
LP,
murderers.
as sitting here with an educator or whatever, one of my biggest pet peeves, and Ashley and I have had this conversation too. One of my biggest pet peeves is when you give our people facts. You should not be able to argue and debate facts. If I'm giving you information that you could research, and I don't know what intelligent idiot came up with that Google has the answers to everything, but if I'm giving you facts and I'm also giving you resources, you know, my mother-in-law is a very spiritual woman, and when she tells me something, she can also tell me the scripture that I can go to, right, to find that and to find what she says or to back it up. So if I'm providing you with facts,
You don't need Google. Okay? You don't need Google. Absolutely. And the facts are there, and we don't want to listen to these facts. We rather sit around and wait for whatever wants to be fed to us. It's called television programming for a reason, but we're too naive to realize they're telling us what they're doing in the mainstream. It's television programming, because I'm going to program you. If you notice, television is like a drug. You program your kids, they sit before, now they can't. What happens when the TV blows out in a house?
They know our minds are powerful.
Exactly.
They know our minds are powerful.
Absolutely.
So they are using these devices to, either on the phone,
To cripple us.
to cripple us.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They're not using their minds to go in the dictionary to look up a word, encyclopedias. They don't even have encyclopedias.
They don't even have an encyclopedia anymore. You know, a friend of mine's laughed because I still own my encyclopedia, my thesaurus, and dictionary from college. And they was like, boy, are these relics? And I'm like, that's where you go to get your answers. Okay, that's where the very foundation of our whole education process, but we don't have that thirst. I put up on Facebook a couple of months ago, a friend has shared with me, a congressional hearing was held between all United States senators and the founders of Facebook. And they got together and determined how they were going to work together to keep an eye on us and to get our information, right? And I put the live hearing up, and someone said that ain't real. And I'm like, ain't that your congressman talking there?
But it's not real because you put it up. See, what I'm finding is that I don't
That's a
care
good point.
how much knowledge we have. I don't care how many PhDs we get. We will never have enough knowledge, not even for our own people. Because see, this is my issue, and this is my personal issue. When I'm told that I gotta change who I am just because this person can't change who they are, because, oh, well, that's just how they are. That's not how they are. Because if that's just how they are, if I act just how I am, you're gonna walk me up out the door.
Absolutely, because we're old.
But once again, we won't take a stand for us. We will take a stand for the thems of the world.
Girl, I know I'm being hypocritical because I said I was going to put the mic down and I had to pick the mic back up.
Put the mic down, you're supposed to talk.
You know, because I'm going to be honest, I came here to discuss, following our dreams and all of that stuff.
This is part of it.
I mean, okay, but this ain't really the part I came to discuss. But since we here and I'm black, I'm going to say what I got to say.
Your voice is always welcome. I could care less the topic.
Okay, thank you. But so here we go. One thing that I do like to discuss is how we gonna get better. So let's talk about, okay, back to the following argument. One reason why I said I'm gonna open up my own shop and I'm gonna open my own salon because my ancestors couldn't do it here. So I'm doing it for them, really. You know what I mean? Because to be honest, I don't care about no haters. And everybody who love me regardless. So who am I doing it for? I'm doing it for myself, and I'm doing it to make my ancestors proud because I'm spiritual. As a black person, and I wish that all of y'all knew this too, as black people, we are already connected to God. Mm-hmm. We are connected to our ancestors. They speak to us. Mm-hmm. They talk to us. They watch over us. You just need to acknowledge them. We're not here to talk about spirituality, so I won't do that. Trust me, I could, because that's really where I'm at. But I'm not about to let no white person tell me who, when, and why I need to pray.
I don't even think it's a black and white thing. I just think that for me, and I don't mean to interrupt you, and I agree with you. I believe that we all are sitting at this table because we have. But in order to get those dreams, in order to acquire getting to the record labels like this young man said, in order for you to own your hair store, until we make these systematic differences, you'll get what they'll allow you to have. Okay. If they want you to have a store, they'll allow you to have it. They'll allow the finances to come in. They'll allow the grant money to come in. They'll allow the loans to come in.
But see, that's where I gotta snatch my moment back. Please, that's where I do disagree. Because they're never going to allow things. We're going to have to take them. And so what are we going to do to take what's rightfully ours? Exactly. What are we going to do to take rightfully ours? Because we could, march and protest all day. The thing that really bothers me, though, is the whole I don't even follow sports, but I only know this guy because he's kneeling whenever the anthem comes out.
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, I support him 100% because he's actually doing what the military is fighting for, his right to free speech and freedom and all those things. I'm down for the cause, you know what I mean? White people are hating him because he's doing that. You know, another brother gets shot.
But I'm even thinking I want to be clear because it's not even only white people.
It's not,
okay?
but it's black people too. So let me fast forward to the point is, what are we going to do to make things better? I'm an educator too.
You have to protest.
If you have to protest, I feel like something else got to be done.
You're not listening to what I'm saying because see, that's again, black people are so programmed that as soon as you say the word protest, their first vision is your ass walking and marching up and down the street. When I say protesting, I'm talking about stop carrying your ass to Walmart.
I was about to say boycott.
Stop taking advantage of discounts. Open up your own businesses. Go back to the template of Black Wall Street that was hugely successful. Go back to FUBU, for us, by us. That's what I'm talking about protesting. The days of marching and stuff is gone. The power is in economic dollar. Okay? Because even with yourself, you have fantabulous hair. But my sisters will go to the damn Chinese up the street and get disrespected and followed all around the daggone store before they patronize your business.
And that's where I want to go. How do we reprogram the psyche, though? Because
it's the miseducation,
and that's where I was going to bring it back to the education. We reprogrammed the psyche, getting back to the education. I think so. We keep talking about, I'm praying, but where's the church? The church hasn't led no civil rights movement since the civil rights era.
Well, that's because we too busy trying to be big businesses buying beamers for our pastors, and we not putting the money out there to bring the programs in.
We reprogram our mentality. Because I'm not
all pastor got to do these days and say, I want to plane.
Exactly, and then he gets a plane. Like we can say protest. You say you put the thing up, but nobody called. Why? You talk about protest, but nobody's meeting you. Why? So where is the disconnect in the programming of the mind?
Because we have not healed as a people. And until we heal as a people, the thing about it is that we're going through this thing all wrong, okay? We're going out and saying, help us, help us, help us. We gotta fix us first. Exactly. We gotta fix our young men who think that it's okay to change the word nigger and put an A on the end of it, and all of a sudden it's a fashion word.
Okay, but then so was Martin Luther King healed?
Look, guys,
because King wasn't healed. The people that King led, were they healed? They wasn't healed.
Something
happened. And I want to know why we ain't boycotting like King did. Why we ain't standing up like X did.
Look at what blacks did with Tuskegee.
Absolutely.
They didn't need anyone, no outside work, no outside help from anybody.
Thank you.
We've got to
but that's what I'm saying. We have to fix us.
And your point, say that again, what you said. You need to boycott like Malcolm. Listen, this modern age generation, and I don't mean no disrespect, but this is just a fact, is lazy and self-centered and accustomed to be educated. Half of their ass will not walk from one corner to the other. I mean, I got cousins that drive up the street to the store. Okay? If you shut down, if you stop riding, it's about economic dollars. King knew this template. King said, you know something, Montgomery? Okay, you don't want to treat us right. We're the major people paying to get on your buses. So guess what? We're not riding your buses. And the respect for King was so great when he said we're not riding their buses. That didn't mean, okay, well, can I just ride to go to work? And no, we're not riding, and we shut down. So after a couple of bus routes go back and forth empty and they see millions of dollars, when any business, okay, and this is the thing that really pisses me off. Think about this. If you go to a restaurant and they treat you badly, you don't go anymore. Or you put the word out. So what happens in a restaurant when you get bad customer service, right? The manager comes over to do damage control and stuff and says, I added some ice cream on there for you, or I took something off, or your meal is complimentary, because they understand the concept of economic power, okay? Now, a nationality that spends more money than any other race in the United States of America cannot grasp economic power is because they choose not to. Because you know why? Michael Kors is getting ready to come out with a new bag. I gotta have it. Slavery was a materialistic thing.
How do you change the cycle? like it because I agree with what you're saying, 100%. I agree with. I don't know what's going on. I agree with what you're saying, 100%. I agree with what you're saying, 100%. I was gonna make it work. We was gonna talk loud. I agree with what you're saying, 100%. But the thing that we're missing, the boycott was a production, and people are lazy. I hear you, and that's what's bothering me. Because when King said don't ride the buses, he also said, I got 50 vans that's going to be picking you up to take you to where you got to go.
And you just answered, we're not going to do that.
But wait.
As a people,
Churches though? But these churches got buses,
No,
vans.
that's not what she's saying. Well, her point is valid. The fact of the matter is, if he says, if we all say tomorrow, we're not taking the buses, right? Because we're not healed in this village, the first thing we do is like, they can't use my car because gas is $2.99 a gallon.
But that's where I was going, Ross.
Or whatever stuff.
That's exactly where I was going because my whole point is this. Churches have buses, vans, and everything.
And they need to be held
And
accountable.
I can definitely speak from a personal experience. The city of Danville does not have a public pool. Never had a public pool. When Goodyear, some men at Goodyear went to the Black Ministerial Alliance and talked to them about getting a public pool and where they were going to build it. It was fine about where they were going to build it. But when they started talking about how were they going to get the kids there, well, the guys at Goodyear were like, well, y'all got big buses and vans. Oh, no, because insurance and liability. It's always an excuse with us.
That's exactly what I'm trying to
We always got an excuse. And I'm sick and tired of the damn excuses.
And I mean, and you are too, because I'm piggybacking off of what you're saying, girl. You leading the way.
She
and
sure
is. Be honest with somebody that's with people that are, you know, a little bit older and are a little bit more mature in their age, because I don't really feel comfortable saying older, but you know, they've been on the earth a little longer. I feel like y'all was closer to the struggle, and I use that in quotations because sometimes I look around and I mean, right now we protesting by hashtag.
Right.
Like that haven't helped nobody.
Exactly.
And so I look back, we can look back and say, oh, King had it perfect. They didn't have it perfect. X had a perfect. X ain't have it perfect. They was getting blown up, beat up, shot up. You can look at the pictures. You don't even have to look far to see what they got going on. But y'all, we get mad. To be honest, I'm starting to feel like not enough of us been getting killed yet.
But
maybe we would get more upset if enough of our men was being shot. Maybe then we would say, okay, let's boycott. Maybe then we would say, okay, let's do something. Because we ain't sitting up in our houses.
The crazy thing is,
tweeting.
at once upon a time.
So what's the disconnect? Where's in our brain?
But now, once upon a time, even women was exempt, right? So all we had to do was worry about and strengthen our men. But now we're getting slaughtered too. And so I think in tying in what you want, because I don't want to get lost on your point, is, and to me, in order to overcome these obstacles and in order to reach our dreams, we first, in my opinion, have to heal as a village first. And then the healing process has to begin. We have to forgive each other. And what I mean by that is, I mean, light-skinned blacks have to forgive dark-skinned blacks.
Yes.
Dark-skinned blacks have to forgive light-skinned blacks. My sister, I'm sorry I picked on your nappy hair. Well, I'm sorry that you have long hair and it's straight. Those are the things that we've got to start dialoguing, brother.
Y'all gonna hate me for this. You really are. Fuck the police.
Whoa.
Like, left field.
Fuck you.
That just came
Plain and simple. We need to pick up our own guns and start shooting these motherfuckers. You heard it from Solo all throughout the radio.
Sola just
You
went.
read.
Look, wait.
I'm not necessarily those shared by Ashley Jefferson and her constituents. I want to make that very clear because if something were to pop off, I don't want nobody knocking on my door saying I had.
Listen, she's
Now,
so excited.
again, the views expressed by this man in the green shirt are not those of Ashley Jefferson and her constituents. I say that because if something were to happen, please do not knock on my door. I don't have nothing to do with it.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay, let me jump into this. Before I get in, I want to shout out to everybody on social media that's been following and watching. Give a couple of comments. First and foremost, Miss Vicky J, thank you for listening in. She says she's with Solo. Actually, a couple people was texting and sending saying that you are answering my question, and thank you very kindly. Because like you are helping following the dream, it's just not the way that you initially thought it was. So you are helping. Before I comment on anything, Mr. Williams, I want to get your thoughts on all of this because you've been too silent.
Cool, man. I mean, a wise man once said it's wise to listen. You got to know when to listen. You know, everybody has their own view of this. Everybody hasn't. You know, this is a good analogy. Like Lil Wayne. I don't know if y'all saw his latest interview with Colin Powell. You know, they asking him about what's going on in the world. He's clueless. To some, hold on. He's clueless to some. Well, his wealth, he said he's never encountered racism, ever. His life, his world is his children. Some people thought that was crazy because it's almost like he doesn't turn on the television to...
Crazy. He sounds like the dumbass that we anticipated him to be. That's all of those years of cough syrup abuse.
So like I said, everybody has their own views. It's going to take... Number one, I feel like it starts with the system. You know, it starts with you. When people become accountable for themselves, I feel everything else will be accounted for.
Well, question: you've been Skip Bayless on Undisputed. Because he's on Undisputed, not Cold, not First Take anymore. He's on Fox Sports 1 Radio and stuff like that. He made that comment on there. I think it was Skip Bayless.
Okay, well, forgive my
yeah,
source.
I just was trying to.
You know what I was saying about Lil Wayne. All I'm saying is different people view what's going on in the world from a different aspect. Whether it be wealth or whether you be poor, whether you be middle class, you know, we're all dealing with the same issues when it comes to black people as a whole. Like I said, it starts with the system. As of right now, it's sort of kind of like I view it as arrested development. You know, if you allow this to continue to happen, like she said earlier, don't just be heartbroken because you're settling for now. It hasn't hit home for you. Same with Lil Wayne. It hasn't ever hit home for him. He's well off.
I think his point, and say that again, it hasn't hit home for them.
Right.
And that goes right back to the dumbass award, okay? Because first and foremost, before you became Lil Wayne or whoever, Wayne Carter, you were a black boy in America.
You're running around 14, 15 years.
When the block was hot.
If I recall correctly, Baby adopted you, which means that you came from a disenfranchised, broke family, which means that you fit pretty much the status quo of the majority of African Americans in this thing. So spare me with the mixed words about it never hit home for you.
How are you engaged to 4 different women
It's called monetary amnesia. Okay, how do you have all of these baby mamas? You just had 2 kids with Lauren London. You got a sugar load of kids, and it hasn't hit home for you.
Actually, it does. It does because you told the truth. You said there's the education.
But I'm just saying, personal life. The man personal life have nothing to do with.
It has absolutely everything to do with.
Well, because look at the education. Okay. Let's start it from this standpoint. Let's look at it from a different angle. Okay, and I'm not being this rude here. Arkansas South, well known for not having the money for education. Okay, and to an extent, if I'm incorrect,
I never had a problem going to that school in Arkansas.
Right, no, you.
No, he's talking statistically.
I'm talking statistically wise and then as a whole, okay, because a lot of great people have come from it.
Right.
But now you also know that you mentioned earlier, you had a strong woman, strong people that gave you that education no matter what, and with 10 kids.
Right.
Shout outs to your mom. Next time you come here, I want to talk to your mom and tell her thank you myself.
Right.
But look at what's happened for the majority. You saw the line, whether it was north, south, east, west, or just locked in the middle, or the lack of access. Public transportation is not there. A lot of other things are not there. So they just stuck, okay? So they sit in the world that shut them off from the world, does just shut off from education. You shut off from resources. You shut off from opportunity. So they have it right here. So you go up with an idea that this is okay when it's not.
Well,
Lil
I
Wayne
don't
doesn't
know.
think it's okay. He's suffering from monetary amnesia, which
And-
most
I mean,
Negroes that get money all of a sudden forget where you came from. The fact of what it is, and it has everything to do with it, because generationally he's incurring a generational curse of popping babies all over the place, baby mamas and stuff all over the place. That's a vicious cycle within our community. And the problem is that black people who don't want to face that, if Lil Wayne was the average Joe Wayne on the street, he would be a deadbeat ass dad, okay? Bottom line in our vocabulary, correct? Because he got money, he gets an exempt card, and that's the problem that I have with black people. We always want to give the ones that got money an exempt card. We make it okay for them to cheat because they got money. We make it okay for them to be pedophiles because they got money. We make it okay for them to have baby mamas all over the place because they have money. But sooner or later, there's a hard fall from grace. And the one thing we are clear in this United States of America is that no one is truly exempt. You're allowed to get a pass. But Lil Wayne, racism affects you every time you can't take your music into another city. When they don't want your bus, when they stop your damn bus on the highway in the middle of 95 and do a search and there's 50,000 other buses going up and down the highway, somewhere along the line, when do you wake up and realize, brother, that it's about the color and the melanin in your skin?
No, I think I really believe this, that people don't understand truth. What the definition of truth is. They make a lie, and they try to make a lie into truth.
That's true. That's a fair.
I'll
That's a
tell you
very
what
fair
bothers
point.
me is that American culture, not just necessarily black people. I agree with everything Tracy said, but what bothers me though is why are we looking at entertainers and sports people as our as the pillar of our moral structure?
That's who they go to.
Why y'all trying to
care
figure
what
Lil
Lil Wayne does with his people? I mean, honestly, he a knucklehead. You can listen to his music since the Hot Boys. Why are we looking at him as Lil Wayne?
You know why? Because this brother raised a good point. They hunted him out for an interview because then he's good enough because he's got monetary amnesia, right? But and stuff when he was sipping on syrup and when his bus was going on the tour and when he was trying to get through the airport or whatever, then all of a sudden it was just like we don't want to talk to that dumb Negro.
Exactly. That's what
But actually, I don't know why any of y'all trying to figure it out, because to me, Willie Lynch set it up like this.
Right, because it's
But the answer, but
So
you
how
said
long
how
we
we gonna
talking
fix
about Willie
it?
Lynch, though?
But you said how we gonna fix it though?
That's my
If you go back to it, the woman. We for real now, and my women get mad when I say this. We gotta start embracing our black men and lifting them up and stop beating them down when they can't meet us halfway.
And stop castrating.
Now, to a certain extent,
I'm gonna record that.
I'm gonna go hard with that.
Let a man be
You know what I'm saying?
Stop castrating.
I mean, and you know it's hard.
that means.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Man be
please.
the head of
I agree.
household.
Okay, can you finish saying what you're saying? Because then we
But-
can say what he's saying.
So my thing is, we have to stop turning to the system to fix what we messed up. And my example of it is this.
agree.
Just because you lay down and get knocked up, and I'm going to use ratchet terms, just because you lay down and get knocked up by a man, that does not mean that man got to be with you. Don't go and make his life a living hell when he's trying to take care of what happened. And you just start doing things to mess up his life. He end up catching a charge because of things that you're doing. He can't supply for his child. Why? Because he got this record. From a lot of times, because of something that we started.
And I hear everything that you're saying, ma'am, as a woman who don't have no kids, never been pregnant.
Me, I ain't got nary.
But what I hear everything that you're saying, but what I like to know is, again, how? Because I hear a lot of people. Hold on. For a lot of people, we always say we have to do this. But then how to do it? So that brings me over to what this gentleman said. Let a man be a man. Okay, everybody say that. How? What are the exact steps? Because a lot of people don't know. And because nobody's actually saying how, the people that are saying how
You're pointing to
are
the solution.
the Lil Wayne praise and those things, and then we end up turning to people who do not care about us to give us examples.
Well, one of the things. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, well, this is my thing. This is me coming from a family of mother and father still together. Plain and simple. No, they did not see eye to eye. No, they did not get along together all the time. But guess what? I know that my father loved me.
Yes.
I had a house, a roof over my head. I was a spoiled brat. Born in Heidelberg, Germany. Came here. I listen to all your stories, and that's why I'm back here smiling. A man needs to be a man. A woman needs to support that man. Because we know for sure, we know in our heart that we know we can't do it without you guys. We know we can't. But when you start acting up on us, changing the script on us, what happens? What do you think happens to our minds? Then we're dealing with you. We're dealing with that white woman at work. We're dealing with that white man at work too.
One of the things you mentioned the definition is that we're busy too much not identifying ourselves with what's history and what's facts. We take, no offense to everybody who's a fan of the show, but we take things like power, Jay-Z, rap, hip-hop, and all the things that you mentioned, actually, that we use that as defined. That's one of the issues that I have with these shows. I mentioned this the other day to somebody, and they couldn't understand it. And it's like, look at the more major popular movies and things of entertainment, if you want to use that as an example. The ones that made the most noise of recent nature was something about a cookout, a reunion, a funeral, a church, and something else. Stuff that's been stereotype of major conflicts within the black family and everything else. And then what I've always said, and this is where one of the things me and Marcus J disagree all the time, is that I've always kept saying that we are at fault for a lot of these different things because we know better and we let it happen. So we need to go forward and look at what's identified and not use these terms. These are maybe subject matters, small things, but it goes over to bigger issue. To go over